Okay. Um, Welcome to our weekly AEGIS conference. Today we're going to be going over group-wide news, divisional news, medal awards, AOA invites, promotions, demotions, and any warnings. And obviously our wonderful conference questions, which I don't think Maddie or Coded will be here for, which is wonderful. Um, do we have any group-wide news or divisional news?
We don't have any group-wide or divisional news
Oh,
this conference. I guess for group news, uh, I we could include that there is the nightclub event that's happening tomorrow, the Christmas-themed one. So feel free to attend. It's gonna be later at night, Eastern, around I think we said 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys can attend, it will likely be hosted until midnight EST. But moving on, we have some medals to give out. It looks like we only have one medal for 4 people. So when I call your name, please come forward. May Seven Cuts, Derek TTL, Trancula, and Drifty was here come to the front, please. Give them a nice clap. You guys completed the obstacle veterancy, or earned the obstacle veterancy medal. Congratulations, Derek. You did it on the dot, 1 minute 45 apparently. And then Drifty, you did it in 1 minute 36 seconds. The other ones didn't have their time written down. But good job. You may go sit back down. You'll be given your medals at the end of the conference. All right. Next, we have AOA invites. As everyone should know, we invite people to AOA at the last conference of every month, and the application can be found pinned in the Shout's channel. Uh, some people haven't been pinged regarding if they failed the application, and those will be sent after the conference. But when I call your name, please step forward. You have passed the application. Radish is here. Drifty was here. Exandra, Friendo, Dog Team, Sedor Valkyrine, MGL Dark Ivy, Agent Libertatum, Smasher Gamers, Extinction, Echoes, or Encos, Dark Soul, and Senso Chief. Congratulations to the group of you. Please DM me as soon as possible, and I will invite you to the Officer Academy Discord. You may sit back down.
So moving on, we have promotions. For the first promotion, we have one AFA to officer promotion. Can I get a drum roll, please? Can ADGT come up to the front? Congratulations, you are being promoted to the officer. Hope you can
There
do
he
your
is.
duty. Yeah, you may jump down, Joy. You may sit back down. Moving on, we have one pretty juicy promotion. This is the unit captain plus promotion. Can I get a big juicy drum roll? Well, unfortunately, he's not here, but _JKL is being promoted to Unit Marshal. This means that he is going to be a trolling Tommel. Who knows? We might see him up on the stage one day. Let's wish him the best of luck.
That concludes our the bulk of the conference. There are no warnings or demotions, thankfully, this week. So we will now be moving on to conference questions. The channel should be open now. Please feel free to contribute. And follow the format. If you don't follow the format, or if you post a non-serious question, you will be striked.
When will the Christmas theme disappear from the map? Probably sometime in January, because there's no point in removing it straight away. Is the city going to come out anytime soon? Not this year. Unfortunately, if it is to be released, it must be released with thunderous applause, because it's been so long and there's so much hype. Anything less than the best is unfortunately unacceptable. Is the
Watch it
city...
come.
Huh?
Sorry. Well, I was gonna say, watch it come out and just be a remake of, like, what's that one game, The Hood?
I hate that game. Is the city currently being worked on / has progress been made on it? Yes. There's currently 3 developers working on the city. There was the first segment, because the city's broken down into segments. There's the first one, which is basically another processing segment of the city where there's immigration officers and stuff like that. That part's basically completed. The next part is going to be the apartment district, I believe, and then the industrial district. The industrial one's going to be the most fun, because there's going to be jobs and slave labor, which we all love and enjoy. So, will there be any new ores that can fuel the reactor in the future? More than likely, yes, or some other form of power source which you'll be able to put into the reactor. But there will be other ways. You may also need to use coolant from the warehouse in order to make sure the reactor has sufficient coolant. Obviously you won't have to go and mine that, because then it would just get ridiculous. It would just be a quick trip down to the warehouse. You'd grab like a tank of something and then you bring it up to the reactor. So a rather quick job, but it adds to basic immersion. Will STHD get new guns? There is no plan to give STHD new weapons. However, you're more than welcome to recommend anything in suggestions.
May I chime in for 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to write down a medal award. May Abigail come to the front for completing the AEGIS Officer Academy. Congratulations. You're going to be promoted to AFA, and at this point you get to wait for future updates for the new academy system to come out. And you may sit back down. Congrats.
Should we expect...
That's it.
Right. Should we expect any new add-ons to the Christmas theme next year? Are you referring to extra content? Potentially. There might be, the thing is with border Christmas events, having them like do a specific task, not everyone can go into the wasteland. So it's very difficult to do an event for both sides of AEGIS. And we haven't currently thought of one because it is difficult. I suppose that people could go out on patrol to do it, but even still, that's only a select amount of people. What does the elf division... What? The elf division? What the fuck?
It's something Pixel created.
I don't know. I don't believe that's a serious thing, game. So, no. Are you going to add some kind of Aegis insignia on the berets of the divisions such as MDF, SDHD, or SC? That was actually a thing in the original Border Patrol in 2017, but it was removed because there wasn't a differentiation between, what is it, BDUs on when you wear the formal uniform on base. I mean, UC Plus do that now, but the divisions no longer do that. However, there might be something like that if there's enough interest for divisions to attend formal ceremonies or something on the border. When will the city get finished? What a wonderful question. We don't have a time frame on stuff like that. We don't usually have a time frame on any updates, they just sort of come out. So there isn't a time frame on when the city will be exactly finished. It's closer than it ever has been before, so there's that. Will there be new divisions? Yes. When will MDF get more armor? 100 isn't enough for me. I don't know how
Get
many
better.
times. Yeah, how many times this has to be damn stated, but there's people that do pay a lot of money to get armor, and just giving MDF more armor to substitute the problem would be extremely unfair for both people. So they've bought all this armor and then MDF has just given it for free. Like, you have enough to substitute fighting most Wastelanders. It's just there's a select few that may be more powerful. However, there's nothing limiting the members of MDF doing the exact same thing. So if you want to do that, you can, but we can't just buff MDF because of it. You can also coincide with other divisions such as SDHD and PKSF during raids to be able to turn the hand of power in a combat scenario. It's not as if you can't do that. Will there be a new division when the city comes out? Yes. Will there be some kind of police force for the city, and what AEGIS ranks would be able to join this force if it did exist? No. Mainly SC and AIA will be playing the largest part in that. AIA investigating civilians for traces of terrorism and stuff. SC basically enforcing law in the city, taking people to prison, stuff like that. The large amount of quote-unquote police force that will be deployed there is between the ranks of operative and AFA, who will be given something similar to the patrol marker to enter the city and patrol and ensure that the streets are safe. And obviously the divisions would chip in where they're necessary. Would it be possible to get some more anti-exploit in the labs? You're going to have to be more specific on what lab you would like the anti-exploit systems in, because a lot of them already have what the maximum of what can be given to them, such as distance and exploits and stuff. There's not that much else that can be added. Maybe if the city is released, add a military police force division. That one is basically the same as smoked. So I have seen that some guns are being remodeled. Could we get a remodel of the MDF guns, M16, A4 and UMP45? Yes, this is planned. All weapons will be redone because at the moment they're using assets from Battlefield 3, I believe. Those aren't the most performance friendly because they were made for a much more complex game engine than Roblox. So they'll be replaced as time goes on. We only have 2 or 3 3D modelers, so obviously it will take time, but it will eventually be done. If anybody is interested in joining the ADD team, you can do so, I believe, somewhere in notices or something. Forgot where the link was posted. But if you need a link, just ask Maddie, and she should be able to provide you with one. Will there be a rebellions team to fight / raid AEGIS other than Wastelanders? This has been a subject of discussion for quite a while in the development team on whether or not there would be an official raid. Like, a lot of groups do this. They'll have 2 groups owned by the same person, so that way, you know, it's all controlled within the game's rules and whatnot. Like, they can be vouched for. It's basically like a faction where it's officialized. People can join it. Chances are it usually has its own spawn point and whatnot, and they would raid accordingly. But as of right now, there's no plans to do that because there's just Wastelanders and factions at the moment. However, if factions fail to be expanded, then that might be a potential option to encourage raiding gameplay within teams. because the faction system is rather broken at the moment. Is there any news or updates about the auto-sorting of weapons? No, 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒's going to be working on the gun script sometime in January again, because he's been doing these Christmas finals for college and stuff, so he hasn't had that much time to work on anything. Is it possible to have Wastelanders not click the buttons in the booths because they will spam it? That's very hard to do apart from adding like a team thing where only people on the AEGIS team can click it, but then if Wastelanders get in there legit, they're going to be very upset that they can't do their normal processing where they will stand in the processing booth and proceed to process AEGIS personnel, which is always rather funny to see. Will the tram ever be replaced as the primary escape route for meltdowns? It's described as now it's left crushed and abandoned in the game badges, and there is no AEGIS presence to secure it, so it's still functioning is pretty odd in my opinion. Maybe, but it won't ever be replaced. There'll be other ways to escape. But it won't be replaced. Wastelander train systems are perfectly potentialized. Like, there could be a Wastelander operated monorail system. It's perfectly plausible. Will there be grenades or grenade launchers? No. Will the new academy system be released? Yes, sometime in January. That will be fully released. Also coming with the stuff that's Tommel's put forward for EFA Plus, and all the basic academy ranks for Initiate, Cadet, and Geo. That will be coming sometime in January. Yeah. Are we going to have any rank patch on the uniforms to show the rank of the individual? No. Probably not. I mean, we could make t-shirts for them, but it's just all a bit unnecessary. What are the rank caps for Officer Plus? What do you mean, the rank caps for Officer Plus?
If you mean how can an officer progress, we have quotas that all the officers have to reach. And we combine that with their consistency to contribute to the group or just to uphold their duties throughout the weeks as they come. And then they're promoted based on that, along with some other details. Officer Plus aren't really rank capped unless we have a lot of Unit Captain Plus. And when that's the case, then that's the whole reason why the Unit Marshal rank was instated, to prevent that stall. So there is no rank cap, basically.
Larger wasteland. Very vague question, but yes, the wastelander will become bigger over time, as you've already seen. The jump from January 2019 to December of 2020 is quite vast. I'll probably publish another game entitled Border 3.0 or something like that. You'll just see, especially with just the game's lighting engine in general, it was very basic, even back at the beginning of January. It was rather shit. Actually, no, just the beginning of January 2020, actually, it was rather shit. And the wasteland, there was no zone, there was no quarry or anything, it was all very closed off. ARD didn't even have a Stargate, it was very sad times. Will we get more game passes in the future? Yes, but probably not basic game passes, because we've got enough of those. Will there be some sort of rebel hideout in the city? Absolutely. There will be something similar to that, probably in the sewers. Will there be some sort of, I've read that, adding more to the Premium Plus Game Pass? Potentially yes, in the future. There might be city-esque things that you can do as a Premium Plus member. Is there any possibility that the camera of the train could be set higher above ground to see the meltdown happening? Yes, I was thinking about doing that, but setting it back was the only issue. Because sometimes the players die and there's unexpected variables that could go into play, which could just break the camera entirely, which is dangerous. Looks like that's all the questions, thank the Lord. If you want to go back to the border, thank you all for attending our weekly conference. I'm sure you all have your divisional conferences to attend to, or other duties. Adios.